All right, well, welcome to our Monday night team call. It is January 25th, our last Monday night call of January of 2021. Where did the month go? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. I always lose control of my mouse when I click share, but I'm going for it tonight. My name's Emily. If you haven't met me before, I have been a part of this community now for 7 going on 8 years. And I love these Monday night calls because truly it was what built my belief and still keeps me close to the fire. 7 years later, I love showing up on these calls to fill up my cup, to learn new things and to further my education and how I can be a better business owner and be really the best partner that I can be. So tonight we're going to talk all about customer care. I'm going to touch on Project Broadcast, which may be completely new for you if you have never heard of it. It's a system. And I know a lot of people on here use Teamzy, and Teamzy is created towards customer care, reaching out, recruiting, starting new conversations. And Project Broadcast is another system that we can use to not just customer care, it could be partner care also. There's a lot of different ways you can use it, but tonight I'm going to be talking about customer care specifically. So thank you for being on. I'm going to start with this quote that says, building a good customer experience does not happen by accident, it happens by design. So, you guys, I lose control of my mouse here and I hate it. Okay. So it does not happen by accident, it happens by design. And so really being intentional about how we're treating our customers is so important. And there are multiple systems that we can use to give our customers good customer care. You may have heard of the bathtub example of you have your customers in this bathtub, and really you could just run that water with new customers all day, but if you don't plug that drain, you're going to be losing customers as fast as you're gaining customers. So really our whole intention is to give our customers a good experience, just like we had. And we know that if you guys compare, your journey and any other product that you've bought out there, whether it's affiliated with a network marketing company or not, good customer service and a good customer experience can really make or break you sticking around no matter how much you love the product. So really what we're all about is plugging that bathtub drain. And the question is, how do we do that in a simple and doable way that doesn't take up too much of our time? Because I know a lot of us on here have other full-time jobs outside of Juice Plus. And I know this is a side thing for a lot of you guys. So hopefully what you learned tonight will maybe give you some peace of mind of how you can put a system in place to give better customer care and maybe even some partner care as well. So 3 systems to improve your customer care that we're going to go over tonight. I'm going to start with going over the Freedom Revolution because first of all, I do not want you to start Project Broadcast if you haven't even tapped into the Freedom Revolution. I actually recently got on there. I go on there all the time, you guys, which I'm going to go through in just a minute. They are always uploading new things on there, and I'm going to walk you through some of the basics tonight. And they're always putting new things on there. So if you haven't looked at it in a while, know that there is new things, and they're really awesome. And they were not around when I got started. So I feel really grateful that we can plug this into a new partner experience so that they know how to give their customers good customer care. So maybe you're newer on our team, maybe you're new to this community, just know that these systems are in place. So number 1, starting with the Freedom Revolution. Number 2 is a Project Broadcast, which I will touch on tonight, and what that looks like and how you can utilize that. And then number 3 is really just the one that you'll do. So it's customer care is kind of like exercise. It's finding whichever one you'll do, that's what works best. It's not about overcomplicating it. Some people are better at just picking up the phone and calling. Some people don't have time for that. Some people need to put a system in place. Some people are pen to paper and writing down exactly when their customer ordered and when their 10-day and 30-day is. So everyone's different, but knowing the systems out there and getting to know what's available to you. And then at the end of the day, putting in place a system that works for you. It will look different for everyone. However, there is so much available to us. So I'm going to start with the Freedom Rev, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so that you guys can learn. And maybe you've heard about this website before, maybe you haven't. And this is our website called thefreedomrevolution.com. It is an amazing resource that is also linked to our virtual office. However, it can also be an overwhelming resource. So if you're new to the Freedom Revolution, take it tab by tab, take it step by step. But tonight specifically, we're going to be talking about customer care, which is under the training tab. If you have not been on this website before and don't have the password to this, to be able to get to past this main page, it's going to ask you for a password, and the password is all lowercase revolution. So the website, if anyone's available to put it in the chat, since it's not going to let me, the website is thefreedomrevolution.com, and the password is all lowercase revolution. So under training, there is a tab that says customer care. And under this tab, there is a lot of things, a lot of goodness. Like, I find it as like true gold, because it's all the things I would love to create but don't have time to, or sometimes don't even know how to. So there are things like basic customer care, which we'll get into, customer care plus. There's an entire customer profile worksheet. There's information on how to guide your customers through using their portal access. There's an experience survey, which is an incredible way to really walk your customer through some experience benefits they may notice. And then there's other things that are awesome, like a welcome letter. If you're a snail mail kind of person, I love printing these off and actually sending them in the mail. You can also email them or text them as well. And then down here at the bottom is one of my favorites, which is something that they've been adding to along the last year or so, is these images. And you can save these on your desktop, or if you do this from your phone, you can actually save these images to your phone. But these images correlate with the customer care PDF. So if you go through these, you will see that they actually tell you to drop in certain images at certain times. So for me, I love starting a customer care experience with touching base with them, of course, letting them know their order's on their way. But the first things, for me, the most important thing at first is to help them create a drop zone, which means keeping their Juice Plus somewhere that they will always remember to take it. So these fun images have already been made by the company. There's an entire team behind the Freedom Revolution. So once again, work smarter, work smarter and a little harder. But to know that all of this has been created for us and it's all in one place. There's images that say, thank you for your order, whether it's a quad or a complete or a Tower Garden order. Some of these even talk about the free downloadable cookbooks at Healthy Living Revolution. Depending on what they ordered, you could actually send a specific image that tells them exactly what to take, depending on what they ordered, if it's chewables or capsules. And you guys, we would think that this is like, of course they know what to take. It's on the back of the bottle. I can't tell you how many times I have a customer say like, okay, how many am I supposed to take? So just giving these images in your customer's hands to let them know, all right, you have your capsules, you have your chewables, this is how many you need to take. And then other added things like consistency is key. There's all different types on here, younger people, athletic people, it doesn't matter. There's so many different things. And then what have you noticed? So there's ones that go over the research. A gift is on its way. So I won't go through all these. You can see there is a lot to choose from. Depending on what people have ordered, you can let them know their order has shipped. And without making you guys too dizzy, they also have some Tower Garden things. So all of these images are made for you. These are beautiful images. You can save them to your phone. You can screenshot them, and you can even favorite them and kind of make an album in your phone. So really quick, before we leave this Freedom Revolution website, this is one of our systems. If you're brand new to customer care in general, start with the basic one, but know that there are a lot of other things that you can tap into. So if we click on the basic one, it's going to actually give us specific things that you can ask your customers when they order. So what I want you guys to remember in the book of customer care is that when someone orders, I know that it takes most of the time, it takes multiple exposures before someone orders. So when you get that credit card and you get that shipping address and you click submit on that order, it is really exciting. You feel like, oh my gosh, I did it. They ordered, the Juice Plus is on its way. And sometimes we want to take a big deep breath and maybe leave them alone for a minute. However, this first 10-day gap of you clicking submit on that order or them clicking submit, and then that first 10 days, that's so important. That's really where the journey begins. Even though it may feel like, okay, I put the order in, they're a customer, that's really where the journey begins as far as, giving them a good experience. So asking them questions like, what are your top 2 to 3 things you would love to see improve in your family's health? It gives you tips on every single question. It gives you a tip on how you can utilize that question and answer to your best ability. Asking about their drop zone, which is what I just talked about. Depending on if they're family healthy starts for families, you can literally copy and paste some of this and personalize it for that customer. It tells you what graphics you can send. It tells you where you can send them this new message. So essentially, you definitely want to send them a message when they first get started. Day 5, day 14, day 30, and I believe there are, day 40, and then I think it goes up to day 90, day 60. So all of these are messages where it's already done for you. You can copy and paste these messages and kind of categorize it and personalize it as you go. It's not going to look the same for every single person. However, it is all kind of a plug and chug and it's there. And then before I click off here, of course, we know this, but I will reiterate it tonight, is to start to look at what customers are shipping out before the month starts. So our virtual office, I believe, gives us a notification 10 days before the order ships out. It really is best if we know that even much sooner. So 2 weeks before your customer ships back out, literally you can copy and paste this. It says, can't believe your 4-month anniversary is coming up. It's going to ship out. I wanted to check in and see if you wanted to also add XYZ. So there are so many opportunities for you to give them the basic customer care, but also kind of upsell them on how to level up their Juice Plus experience with other products. And then I won't get too far into this one, but this is really just a customer care plus. It actually gives you a little bit more in depth and tells you which graphics to send and which links to which videos. So it's all there for you. It makes customer care a lot easier when you know that you can simply just plug and chug messages to people. I was going to say one other thing about that before I move on, and I can't think of what I was going to say. It'll come to my mind. Okay, so finding that flow with the Freedom Revolution, I love actually getting out my planner. If you're a pen to paper kind of person, getting out your planner and writing down, like, let's say you had someone order today, go in your planner, or you can go in your phone, however you do your planning, and go and map out their 10-day, their 30-day, their 40-day, 50-day, 60-day. Because if you can give someone enough education and enough exposure to what their Juice Plus is doing inside their body in their first, 10 to 30 to even 60 days. I wish I could see the chat. My mouse disappears. I know you guys are blowing up the chat. I wish I could see what you're saying. You can really elevate someone's experience to want to continue. So what we have to remember is a customer, especially if they're brand new, they don't know what we know about Juice Plus. They don't know that you can't always feel prevention. They don't know what Juice Plus is doing inside their body unless we tell them. So really this experience is, number 1, get them to take it. And number 2, get them to understand what it's doing for them inside their body when they take it. And using those resources on the Freedom Revolution is definitely where I would get started. However, during quarantine, I would say, I guess it was like April, Casey and I sat down. She had told me about this system called Project Broadcast. I had heard about it. It's kind of set up like Teamsy, where you pay a small fee each month. I believe Project Broadcast, you can start with $10 a month. And that's still the one that I have. You can upgrade to different levels, but you start with $10 a month. And I know there are things that you can invest in your business, and there are a lot of things out there. However, I want you guys to know that in the grand scheme of what we invest in Juice Plus, we pay $52 a year for our virtual franchise. You may pay for other subscriptions, maybe Voxer, maybe Audible if you listen to books. There are things that we invest in, but our overall investment of what we invest to run our business is very, very low, considering the potential that we can make. So I want you guys to know that even though Project Broadcast costs $10, this is kind of like a disclaimer, even though it costs $10, it is the best $10 I've ever spent on my business. Every single month that comes out of my account, I'm like, thank you, Project Broadcast, because it's essentially a system where you can set up, you can import your customers and your partners in there. You can introduce yourself to your customers and partners, it essentially gives you your own phone number. So as you set up, and I will show you kind of how to do that. This is like a beginner's call tonight. I want to encourage you to go back to your teams, and maybe you guys can we can all set up our own little pods if our separate teams want to do this together. It is a little bit tedious in the beginning. I would say setting up my project broadcast from start to finish, like getting my customers imported and getting used to the system. You can download it as an app on your phone. It's a little bit like archaic. So it's not like a very fancy app, but it's super simple in the sense of like, you can see your tabs at the top, which I'll show you. But you can import your customers. You introduce yourself because it actually assigns you to your own phone number, and you can get it as close to your personal phone number as possible. And then you can create some simple campaigns and templates, which I will show you how tonight. So the whole point of this is to, number one, it just gives you an easier way to touch base to your customers and partners, which you can create a template, and you can, I don't want this to sound bad, but you can essentially send like a mass text, but you're personally texting that person. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to text someone about the Juice Plus TV episode coming up. Is it this week or next week? Simone Biles, or I don't know her name. The Juice Plus TV episode coming up. Let's just say you wanted to invite your customers to that. You could create a template where you could go type in the Juice Plus TV, kind of put your caption, and you can send it to all of your customers that you have imported in your contacts list as customers. So when they get that text that comes through, it comes through from your project broadcast number. They see the image for the Juice Plus TV episode, and then they see your personal text. So it's not like a mass text thread. It's coming from you yourself. So for me, I kind of started with introducing myself, letting my customers know like, hey, this is my new Juice Plus number. This is kind of how I'm going to be giving you some added customer care and education. I'm going to be messaging you about once a week on here. I'm not going to bombard you, but just save my number in your phone. Save this number in your phone as Emily Juice Plus. So I'm going to stop my screen here and show. I know I keep flipping screens here. I'm going to share a couple of resources that I use for Project Broadcast. So you can run it from your phone. I think importing, at first you have to do everything from your computer. So I do believe that you need a desktop or a laptop to start your Project Broadcast and kind of get it up and running. And without going into all the details tonight, the magic of the beauty of YouTube is that everything is on Project Broadcast YouTube. So they show you how you can import your contacts, how to start templates, how to view your message insights. There's keywords. So let's say you messaged, you sent out a message and said Juice Plus TV episode Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard. If you want more information or want the link to this video, respond and say yes. So if anyone texted back yes, you could automatically set up a keyword response to where it would automatically send them the link. So there's some cool features in there. I don't want to get these numbers wrong. Maybe someone knows this that can put this in the chat, but if you pay the $10, you start with the $10 a month package, you get a certain amount of credits. So it's kind of like old school text messaging where like you get one credit is one text. So when I first got my phone in 7th grade, I think I had like 25 texts a month, and now I send like 225 a day. But it is kind of, even if you have a decent amount of customers, for me, it takes a lot to kind of surpass my credits that I get per month. I forget how much you get for $10. If someone knows the answer to that, put it in the chat if you can. I don't want to get it wrong. But this is cool because the YouTube that they have set up walks you through how to do everything. So you can export your contacts, you can export your customers and your partners from your virtual office. Casey and I did it together. There were just a couple of hiccups. It really wasn't too hard to catch on to. However, I do think it's a lot easier if you have someone that you're like sitting at a table with, or maybe if you hop on Zoom with your team, you guys can do it together. It takes maybe from start to finish, I want to say 20 minutes for the importing. And then I went ahead and sent out a text to my people and introduced myself. So you can include a picture and you can have templates ready to go for like a new customer. However, there is something on Facebook. Did you guys see that switch? Hopefully you can see the Juice Plus Project Broadcast Facebook page. This is a Facebook page. I don't know who created it. It is awesome. There essentially is always different new ideas going around on the Facebook page of there's templates, there's keywords, there's tags, there's campaigns. And it took me a little bit to kind of figure out what meant what. I still haven't really utilized keywords as much as I could. I'm just now tapping into creating a campaign. I'm trying to create a new campaign where if a new customer gets started, you can sign them up on the campaign and essentially, like, let's just say you did like a 7-day drip campaign on that new customer. For 7 days, they would get one text each day, depending on how you have your campaign set up. So I'm still in the learning curve with you guys. I'm not an expert at this. However, it has made my life a lot easier. I feel like I can get information and education to my customers faster. This does not mean that I still don't call them and I still don't touch base with them like one-on-one outside of the Project Broadcast app. I will find that customers are texting me about their order or about certain things via that app. So it has kind of turned into like my Voxer, but for my customers. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed that it's another thing. It really does in the long run make your life easier and it's a little bit more organized. I don't know about you guys, but when you're texting customers on your normal text message thread, it can get lost. You don't know when you texted a certain customer. If you're like me and I don't have a customer binder of exactly when I touch base with every single customer, Project Broadcast kind of makes it easy to find each chat and open up the chat and find that conversation with that person. So there are some cool things in here. Oh, look, there's Jeanette's beautiful face. Maybe I'm going to invite her to come to this group. So there are actually bundles, which if anyone knows about this, I have not tapped into this yet. However, I do want to just say that, like this Rachel Brewer said, I just sat down and made a year of customer care posts for 2021, 2 per month. Here is the bundle code. So I'm pretty sure you can go on your Project Broadcast, you can somehow type in this bundle code. I've not messed with this yet. And you can pull and use her customer care post that she created. So it's kind of like a shareable feature where you can, if maybe we all come together as a team and maybe create a 7-day new customer campaign. I would love to create that together. If anyone wants to help me, we can create a bundle code where our team can share that bundle code and we can all do it together. So if you want an invite to this Facebook page, just let me know. I can invite you, or I see Cheryl and Julie and some other people in here. Carrie's in here. Mandy's in here. So there's some people in here on this team that could invite you if you just want to be a fly on the wall and kind of get to know it a little bit. I know it's something that you definitely have to ease yourself into. You don't learn it overnight, but just like anything else, it's a system that allows you to work smarter and work harder. And just like Juice Plus, it doesn't replace fruits and vegetables. Project Broadcast does not replace talking to your customer one-on-one, picking up the phone, calling them, but it does allow you to kind of send out just information in a faster and a smarter way. Something I've tapped into the last couple months is I've also added my partners' phone numbers into, their contact information into my contacts, and I've tagged them as partners. So for the Winter Summit, I sent out a text message a week before and a couple days before, and then the morning of, just letting my partners know that the Winter Summit was starting and to hop on. Yes, we have Voxer, we have Facebook, we have a lot of different means of communication. Eric Worre talked about at GoPro that if you can over communicate the same message on as many platforms as possible, that's the best way. And we just live in a social world where we're on a lot of different platforms, and that's just the reality of it. And I think everyone sees a text message faster than they would ever see a Voxer or even a Facebook notification. So using this as a way to kind of touch base with your team on any bigger events, or maybe even you could schedule it out. You can also schedule posts on Project Broadcast. So you could schedule out a message to go out to your team every Monday and let them know about the team calls on Monday. So there's a lot of different ways to use Project Broadcast. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I just wanted you guys to know that there is a system out there that kind of makes this easier at least, and kind of puts peace of mind knowing that if you schedule out your messages for the month, you could even sit down on a Sunday or a Monday whenever you could time block time out and put together some content and some educational pieces of what you want to send out to your customers, and you can schedule it out for the month, even months ahead, which is really cool. So I put this on here because we're better together. I am by no means an expert on Project Broadcast. I've been using it for about, I don't know, 9-10 months, and I love it. It makes me feel like, peace of mind knowing that I touched base with my customer in some way, shape, or form. However, if we can all come together and get better together, we could come up with some campaigns. We can put a system in place for 2021. So maybe we can put together a special call outside of our Monday night calls if anyone wants to do that together. And then I know we've heard this quote before, but I will add it again and just say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So when we're talking about customer care, it's not always just about the research and taking their Juice Plus and, all of the educational things that of course we love about Juice Plus, but also letting your customers know that you're there for them, asking them questions. I mean, right now is the perfect time. I think Christine Abril said she was touching base with her customers this month, and just asking them like, what's your version of success look like in 2021? What are you working towards? What kind of goals do you have in place? And just asking them like, how can I support you? So I don't know if that's exactly what Christine did. However, it got me thinking. I'm so prone to just talk to my Juice Plus customers about Juice Plus, unless they're a close friend of mine. But how can we really extend our hand out to being, building that relationship, letting them know how much we care, especially in times like these? How can we support them in and outside of their Juice Plus journey? So I hope this was helpful to you guys. I'm going to stop my screen share here. You guys, there we go. I lose control of my mouse when I click share, so it always bothers me. I feel like I'm not in control. So there's a couple minutes left. If you guys want to ask a couple questions, I'm open to it. However, I don't want to feel, I'm not the expert by any means. I know, Julie, you're laughing at me.
Emily, quick question. I hear that this is in addition to TeamZ.
Yeah, so TeamZ is a system that you can kind of map out you can kind of keep track of your connections, that goes for partners and prospects and customers. Project Broadcast is a system that you can use in actually sending out the content. So you can schedule out messages that would be sent to your team or to your customers, as far as, it could be anything. It could be any customer cares or any upcoming events. And let me just kind of, I guess I didn't say this in the beginning. If you are like just getting started and you have a small customer base of, let's just say 5 to 10, or maybe you're just a happy family partner where you have 5 to 10 customers and you're not looking to grow that. You may or may not need Project Broadcast. I mean, it's not expensive. So I think $10 is doable to kind of have a system in place. However, if you don't have a very large customer base, that's kind of why I said get started with the Freedom Revolution first, and then you can graduate into the Project Broadcast system where you feel like you can put more things in place. But don't feel like you need this. You definitely don't. We've all done our business without Project Broadcast for many and many years, but it's a system that's out there that I have found helpful. So I wanted to share it with you guys. And yeah, you definitely don't have to use it. So does anyone else have any questions?
It was awesome, Em. Thank you so much.
I know this is like just scratching the surface on what it is. I feel like we could come together and have a whole call on like importing and exporting customers and all the things, but
well, like you said, you
Emily,
just need to get your hands dirty and get in it if you think it's right for you.
yeah.
I was just gonna ask if you could just give like a couple other examples of what you've done. You said you would email or you would text out any JPTVs. Have you just sent out other like Juice Plus research videos or just to like build belief? Or
so I started my Project Broadcast in the middle of COVID craziness. So in the beginning was just touching base with people. I mean, if I look back at my messages, I was just like, hey, I'm thinking of you. Like, there's many ways that you can reach out to people. Then I started to tap into telling people about the Tower Gardens because it was the springtime, and I would let them know about an upcoming event we had. I do try to send people more things than just an event. I get a project broadcast system sent to me from a product that I order. And I try to remember that a project broadcast is just like an event. I want to invite someone into an event that I would want to go to. So same with project broadcast, nobody wants to get just another random text. So questioning yourself, like, how can I add value? Is this adding value in some way, shape, or form? Yes, inviting into an event is great. It makes it really easy. However, there are many other things. If I scroll back in my messages, I've contacted people about events, research, just touching base with them about like the time of year and just, if they, I don't want to say double up on Juice Plus, but just reminding people that Juice Plus is just food. And this is, if there's any time to nourish your body, it's now. And there are many things. However, I will say the schedule feature is one of my favorites. So I can I can put together a template, put together the caption, I can put together the image that's going to send with that. You don't have to send an image. And then I can schedule it to go out on a certain day. So on a perfect month, I will sit down for about 30 minutes, depending on where I'm getting these things from. Casey and I try to collaborate and help each other out. So doing it with your teams, you could share recipes, you could share the complete cookbook. I made cookies around the Christmas time with that recipe card that I had. I took a picture, I sent it to my customers, and I said, like, don't forget to use your, recipe card I sent you. There's so many things you could use. So in a perfect month, I will sit down and schedule out my 2 or 3 that I want to send for the month, but that doesn't always happen. So there's a lot of features you can use depending on what your schedule looks like. And if you collaborate with your team, which we can do as a greater team, but you could also collaborate with your smaller teams and, kind of share the templates and campaigns that you're using, which I think would be smart for all of us, because I'm not the best at wording. I can make a beautiful image. Casey's really good at wording. So we try to collaborate in that sense and send them out together. So
Awesome. Thank you. That's great.
Okay.
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah, there's so many different things. And then I'm randomly on Kurt Beaver's project broadcast. I don't know how I got added to it. I didn't ask for it, but I don't get them often. So I don't know if he maybe took me off, but he would send me some things about like the join the club incentive. Like he sent it out to his team about like, did you know that we have this qualifiers club? He sent out some things about, the new Express Track program and all of the things that the company's putting in place for us. The Add More Good just concluded. However, I know some new things are coming up for 2021. So even using it for your partners that aren't as active on Voxer or Facebook, sending some things out to your partners on what exciting things are happening behind the scenes with the company. So, all right, you guys, I hope you found that helpful. And like I said, get back with your teams and maybe we can come together and have another call about this. This is just scratching the surface on another system that we use, another tool. And just at the end of the day, customer care, just do what works for you and start with the Freedom Revolution, looking through that, saving some images on your phone, and just really loving on your customers, because right now and the times that we're going through, our customers are going to remember not just how what we said, but how we made them feel. So loving on our customers and building that relationship with them. So that's what I have.